I went to about 4 or 5 labels, and all the big ones, and it turns back around that I get signed again, but you know, the same way, but just from the other end, you know, to the same label that turned me down. So I mean, it is what it is. I think God shuts a door in order to give you a bigger blessing. You know, he shuts one door and you might think, well, oh my God, no one at home appreciates me. But hey, listen, you found a whole new appreciation around the world, and your home still loves you. I couldn't wish for anything better. You know, I don't take it, I'm not bitter, I'm not upset by it. I'm more like, God has a plan, and I'm just gonna stick with it.
We were talking about before, like, you've been doing music for a long time, and I was saying that the first time I heard you was Just Because, and you said that was what, 98?
Yeah, like 98.
So what's actually motivated you to actually still be making music, like 4 years later?
Well, I do music because it's what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. I've looked at my life like, well, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this my life? Because, you know, this isn't the easiest road. And every single time I had a day job, I got fired from it or got made redundant, and music seemed to be the only thing that would work. And I was making more money off music than I was in my day jobs.
Well, what day jobs did you used to have?
I worked as a journalist, I worked in Marks and Spencer's, I did the gigs guide at a website actually, and then I wrote articles separately. I worked in Marks and Spencer's, I worked as a runner in a production company for like $8 grand a year. That was fun. I worked in a record shop called Deal Real. I did so many different things, and none of them paid me or made me feel as happy as music, you know. And then I realized I was good at it, really good at it, exceptionally good at it. So I kind of figured this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. That's why I stayed with it.
And were your family supportive of your music?
My mom wasn't supportive to the point of like really, you know, going hard at first, you know, because she was like, look, your dad was a drummer, I don't know about this, you know, because it's hard. You know, she's seen people, you know, and she looked at it from the musician perspective. I was like, but I'm a star, so, you know, I'll be fine. And she would look at me like, yeah, get a job though, you know, get some background, go to school though, you know, make sure you finish college. Because if you need to not do this anymore, I'm going to need you to, you know, get a job and be able to support yourself. I'm not going to be here forever, you know. So she definitely put me on that stretch, you know, and made me realize that you still have to have an education, you still have to be smart about, you know, your choices and stuff. Yeah.
Now, All of Me is the album. All right, now, as a body of work, how long did it take you to actually put that all together?
Well, this took me 3 years. That's why everyone was wondering, where's she gone?
So all that time you
the entire period, I didn't take a break. I was recording, I was recording, I was on the road, I was working, living, and everything too. And my songs and my records are all autobiographical. So every single one of them you're hearing, you're singing along to, yeah, something I went through, you know? And that's what takes me so long, because I have to go through the songs to be able to write them, or at least live them enough, or live around the situation enough to be able to really write about them from a realistic point of view, you know. And that's what takes the time, you know. And I can't work on my time, I work on God's time, because he's making me live, you know. He's giving me my day by day, so that's a whole other spin on it. You know.
How do you decide what tracks actually make the final cut?
I have a great team. I have a really good team between my exec producer, who's John Legend, who I'm also signed to, and my management teams, Kevin Lyles and Mike MacArthur and Jerome Hips. I get told to get out of my way a lot between the three of them. You know, they kind of really say, Estelle, give us this album. You know, they kind of come and pry the songs off my laptop. They're those guys for me, because if it was up to me, this album probably wouldn't be out right now. You know, just because I'm critical. You know, I'm super critical. I want everything to really be amazing, you know. And they give me that, what's the word? They give me the balance. You know, they're my right brain where I'm all left sometimes. You know, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I have a great team that do that for me. So this is the story she's trying to tell. We're gonna tell her this is okay today. We're gonna tell her, get out your way today, this is fine, don't tweak it. Touch it one more time.
Because you got some sort of deadlines, or
yeah, they give me deadlines and they tell me, give us this by this, you know, and then we sit down in the room and we go through it all and make sure it's in line with what we're trying to talk about and what I have to go and sell for the next 3 years, you know, for the next year. So.
And it's important, because when you go on the road, it has to be music that you actually.
You have to feel it. I have to sing American Boy every single day of my life. So if I didn't know what I was singing about, or wasn't having fun when I sang that song, oh, I wouldn't be doing it now. Like, there'd be no #1 hit, no Grammy, no nothing. you know, because you have to do it. You have to sell that record, you know, no matter what people think. Oh, it's just a song and it just went whatever. No, you have to sell that record every time you sing it. You know, people know when you're bored of it. I've been told when I was like, I got halfway through and I was like, you know, oh, she didn't seem like she wanted to sing it, and I didn't, and I'm that transparent. So you have to love it, find the love for it, you know. So I have to, you know, that's why I say I write about my stuff. Because then I ask God, what am I supposed to do on this beat, or let me, you know, let me kill this beat, let me do something incredible on this beat. And 10 times out of 10, a melody will pop in my head, or, you know, I'll just get real quiet and still, and just it comes out, you know. I think people think I don't write songs because I sit on Twitter while I'm doing it, or I'll be on the internet while I'm doing it, and then, you know, I'm in front of my computer and I write on my computer, so they never know what the hell I'm doing. They're like, you just surfing websites? Yeah, I'm getting out of my way, you know. I'm taking my mind off what I was supposed to be doing, so it can flow, so it just comes out. I learned that technique a while back as well. That works, you know, it really works for me. It's about being as pure as you can, you know, choosing the right words, or maybe the wrong words sometimes, and trying to be as pure as you can with it. Because music really changes and messes with people's lives. You know, it messes with your headspace, your emotions. So I try and keep it as pure as possible when I put it out. I don't ever want to overthink stuff or be too clever. I hate that. Like, it's the most frustrating thing to hear a song, you're like, melody's dope, what you talking about? Frustrates my life. A lot of people do it. You know, so I'm not here for confusing people.
With that, do you ever Google yourself on the internet? I
have once, and I stopped after a while, because it's like equal odds good and bad. But humans are kind of hardwired to read into like bad stuff, you know, and to remember bad stuff. So I choose not to. I don't want to remember. I don't want to look at the bad stuff for myself, you know. Twitter's bad enough.
Yeah,
people will at you with the most random stuff, and you're like, you just have to, who if I see you in real life? Issues right now, but like, it is, yeah, I try not to.
Do you think Twitter is actually a beneficial tool for artists in terms of getting the music out?
Yeah, Twitter is definitely our friend. You know, where some labels may want to not put this out or do that, or they're just not, you know, up on stuff, Twitter just gives us that extra angle to be focused and in with the times where, you know, you may not be, because we live in studios, we live on airplanes, and we live in hotels. We're not in real life, you know. So Twitter gives us that direct lane to the real life. If you haven't got like 12 people with you that are your friends that are on the streets every 10 minutes, well, then you have it.
Okay, you're one of the few artists from the UK who's managed to make noise in the States. Why do you feel that sometimes you have to break America first before they actually acknowledge you in your own hometown? Well,
I won't say that. They acknowledged me in my own hometown with 1980 with the first album, so I never really had that as a problem. The reason I went over there was simply because they were the only ones who would give me a deal after the 18th day. You know, there was so many record labels, and none of them wanted to sign me.
Did you go? Did you have
I went to about 4 or 5 labels, and all the big ones, and it turns back around that I get signed again, but, you know, the same way, but just from the other end. You know, to the same label that turned me down. So it is what it is. I think God shuts a door in order to give you a bigger blessing. You know, he shuts one door and you might think, well, oh my God, no one at home appreciates me. But hey, listen, you found a whole new appreciation around the world, and your home still loves you. I couldn't wish for anything better. You know, I don't take it, I'm not bitter, I'm not upset by it. I'm more like, God has a plan, and I'm just gonna stick with it. You know, figure that out.
But when you actually were in those meetings, what was the actual? What was the vibes? Yeah,
I mean, I would play the music. They got it, but they were just like, well, you know. I think part of it was money. Part of it was, it's never been done before. You know what she's trying to do. Cool, 1980 was great, and then it was the perception that I wasn't writing my songs. You know, and all the producers would be out there saying, yeah, but then, I mean, A&Rs talk, and, you know, they have their egos. So there was this whole vibe and energy that, like, oh, well, she doesn't write her songs, and there's not really any quality because she's not gonna be here for long because we have to get writers. And I was out there writing 1983, Go Gone, all these records, I wrote them, you know, and they were all big records out here. So I think it was just like the confuddlement of who's this young black girl that writes her own songs, is doing all these unexpected things, and she don't look the part, and she ain't playing ball with us, and I don't want to be in business with her. You know, it was a lot of real just ego stuff.
Isn't that a bit blackballing in a way?
Not even blackballing, more just like, I wouldn't say blackballing, that's not a correct term, because I was definitely having meetings. It wasn't like people weren't taking meetings with me, and they were considering it. It just wasn't the right terms to do it, you know, in their terms, and it wasn't the right terms for me. I got offered a few deals. I was like, really, come on, seriously, what? You know, and the independent thing wasn't as amazing as it is now. You know, Dizzy didn't exist at that point as an independent artist. He was signed to a label at that point too. So, you know, they didn't see the value in me having my own label and signing me and my, you know, that kind of thing. So, it was a lot of things. It just so happened that, and it did baffle me a bit, because I was like, but you have someone who just won about 12 Grammys attached to the projects, which was John Legend, and you still don't see the value. You know, but thankfully he did. You know, and I ended up going to Atlantic, and I think their focus over there was just music. Like, Craig Cowman's he's one of the music men. You know, he follows in the footsteps of Amit, you know, as far as who started Atlantic Records, as far as it's music first. Make them songs that make your spine tingle, you know, and you make those records. Let's sign you, let's go. I met him right before he died. Again, and you could, you know, it was the same energy you could see between him and Craig, and I was like, I want to be here, I want to be at this label, you know, and it happened. They went tooth and nail and fought and got me and talked and paperwork out. That's partly what took a few years to get that record off the ground. It was like 3 years of paperwork, 3 years of lawyers talking. So, you know, and it gave me time to record the album. It's all right.
In closing, what would you say thus far has been like your biggest achievement today?
My biggest achievement today has been staying sane. in the face of all the madness, the Grammys and all that's cool. My physical health and staying sane has been my biggest achievement, because this industry's not for the weak. You know, between the head games, between the crazy hours, schedules, the times you never get to sleep when everyone else around you is taking a nap. You know, the times when you have to be awake and on your business when everyone else is like, oh, it's cool, she'll handle it. Staying sane and not being upset, and knowing that I'm still here, you know, and I get to do this 12 years after I started, when people don't get to do it 2 years after they started. Yeah, that's it.
Estelle, well, it was great talking to you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you for your time.